The first question and then we will briefly go through it. Read it loudly so that I also know.
Why are we upset one day and happy the other day?
So we must instantly remember how easy it is. I come to you on Friday, you remember. So why don't you remember that why you are upset on one day and happy the other day? It is because of the mind. Nothing more than that. What else? What else we have to remember? The moment you remember, remind yourself that, what to remind yourself? Nothing is bad morning or good morning. It is because of the mind. The 8 factors of the mind causes morning as it is. It causes bad morning, it causes good morning. Again, I am pointing you out. You are already progressing. How do you know that I am here? You know in your mind. What is that factor? The knowledge in the mind that I am here and talking to you. Knowledge in the mind that the peace is my essential nature and the mind wants to overpower me. That is why it is a bad morning. That is why I am busy. To be busy means, for me, to remain busy means that now, thank you, I have a work to do. Come on, my mind, focus there, absorb yourself, enjoy working. So then there is nothing that can cause you stress. The peace is here and now. The mind is going somewhere else, going to the object and attachment, and we have already done the desire, fulfill the desire, not fulfill the desire, confusion, and loss of memory, loss of intelligence, delusion, and suffering. What should I do with? Louis, do nothing. Live your life. You are in peace here now. Do nothing. What to do with the David? Do nothing. Is David here now? No. Well, when the David comes, invoke that mind that is peace. What do you want? Okay, have a breakfast, take a dinner, and then you are aware that you are not carried away by these 8 factors in dealing with the David or Louis. How simple is that? The way you know me that I am here, that knowledge happens in the mind. The same way the knowledge should happen in the mind that David is here. You are talking to Louis, so you don't talk to the image of the Louis and then there is a reaction. Why we are doing all those practices? Because to purify the mind. To purify the mind, to release the past impressions so that they do not dictate me in living my life. Are you getting it? You have a knowledge in your mind that you have this aquarium, that aquarium, and that aquarium. There was a water leakage there in that aquarium. Last time you told me. So the problem is there in the aquarium, not in your mind. You can create a problem. Why the hell this water leakage is it? I've been taking care of it. And then you have a liking and disliking. The mind goes to the shopkeeper, the shop owner. Oh, he might have given me the... Come on, hold it. Hold on, the mind. Same thing applies to the Lois, same thing applies to the David, same thing applies to the Eric, same thing applies to the Brisa, same thing applies to the friend. And that makes my morning or evening or afternoon good or bad. I always enjoy instant focus is there. And I want to get absorbed into what I am doing to give the best and the highest. For me, every session is the beginning. For every work is the beginning. That is the way we live from moment to moment. That is known as the present moment. Please read aloud the second question.
Routine or natural works in life and meditation.
Remember, awaken here and now. Did you have any problem going to the restroom? Do you have any problem sitting here and now and listening to me? Do you have any problem cooking in the kitchen? No. Routine work. Are you looking at me? Naturally, yes, it's a routine work. Meditation is a routine work. There is nothing extraordinary. Now you are evolving, you have reached to that stage, so I am saying it is a routine work. Routine work, you see that? There is no issue, I acted on this, I put the paper here. There is routine, everything is routine work. So that routine work keeps 90% of the mind that is in peace and happiness, love and wisdom. Now, in the routine work, let the ignorant mind enter into it. One example. Oh, this soul is fiction. This is very good, I must have it. I must have it, so I have a liking. I must have it, so I have an attachment, so I have a desire. I go out, my mind starts thinking of it, and I lost my way. What I'm doing? What I'm doing? Are you driving? Come on. Go back, mind, to drive. Reach to your house. Do you need this? No. Well, even if I need this, so let me find out. When I go home, I will think of it. Example, I don't know, but just an example. No, Lois told me something, that disturbed me. Mind, calm down. Routine work. Don't get upset. Don't get upset. Simple. Don't get upset. So who makes you upset? You leave the routine. What is that routine? The 90% of the mind that is always in peace and happiness. Another example. You wake up in the morning. I don't like his or her attitude. Become aware. Ask yourself, what's your routine? Why you are rewinding yourself? Mind, you are a pre-recorded DVD. You will repeat the same thing again and again, and I don't want you to repeat it. So what you are doing, you are bringing that knowledge and the wisdom in the mind. And when the mind is pure, it is done. 90% it is already pure. Only the 10% causes the problem. Give anesthesia to 10% of the mind. The mind will never feel pain, never feel anxiety and reaction. Only 10% has to be given. No, local anesthesia, you have a problem, local anesthesia. They bring the tooth out. Oh, do you have pain? No. This is what the journey of the Eastern wisdom. So we are progressing. What is the next question, my friend?
Why do you start sadhana from top?
Sadhana. Sadhana means practices, what you are learning. Sadhana is a Sanskrit word which includes the talks, understanding the principle, practicing, experiencing, changing. So I told you that I always start every session from the top. Peace is here and now. No, but I don't experience, but I start from the top. Peace and happiness are my essential nature that cannot be undone. This is just a part of the routine. When the mind lives in 90%, which is perfectly natural, always lives in peace, there is no problem. But the mind says, I have a lot of problems. So the mind has gone down. So I always have a liberty to go down when I start from the top. But if I give you the lowest practice, then there is no chance to go down. I don't know anything what can be lower than the lowest. So that is the knowledge. That is why, what is the topmost knowledge? Peace is my essential nature. Mind 90% has to be in peace because it is the essential nature of the mind. Because of our wrong notion, we create a thought. Wrong notion comes from the wrong perception. Wrong perception and the wrong thinking leads to not only wrong speech but also the wrong action. Why don't you understand, Louis? Mind, let me understand you. I do not like to make anyone understand if one does not want to understand. So let me be in peace, let me be in smile. Example, you both work together, so if she comes out and she reacts, thank you, Lois, do you want to have a cup of tea? You are right. Do it. And then first time you will realize it's such a routine work. Instant moment, the knowledge in the mind should happen. That knowledge in the mind, what is right and good, is a big topic, and I will take up that, which is known as Shreyas. What is right and good at this moment, when I come to your house? Now we are friendly, we understand each other, but still, what is right and good for me to be here? What I like and pleasant, no, I have to drop it. The moment my mind moves to what I like and what is pleasant, it will cause the 10% of the mind, and I will disturb my routine, and then I have a lot of problems. It's just a routine. What is that routine? The way you are sitting, the way you are looking at me. That peace is so near to you at all times. It cannot be undone. What is the next question?
Who we truly are.
Yes, remember this. Either you remember 90% of the mind lives in peace and happiness. Let me see. The moment you are aware of this fact and this thought, that 10% of the mind will lose its impact of creating any problem in life. And that we will release by the different practices. So what we say, what is that true nature? True nature has three words: Sat, Chit, Ananda. And that three words have five attributes. It is the nature of pure consciousness. It is the nature of truth. Truth means consciousness, and truth consciousness means exist. I exist in peace, in love, in wisdom, all the time. It is the mind creates the way. You look at this guy and your mind, because of the past habit, oh, these beer guys are crazy, I'm suspicious about them. 10% of the mind. No, you have never been, I'm just giving an example. Yesterday many kids came, about 14 and 15, for Halloween. My honey likes to, she waits to give candies. That's a good intent. So 2 or 3 young 14, 15 years old kids came, and I told them that next year, call me, I will go with you, I will shave my beard, and then I will look younger. So you express peace and happiness. Find out an opportunity. Lois is reacting. Find out an opportunity to express peace. Reaction and reaction. Oh, then what will happen, Reaction, response. Reaction, response. That response comes from the true nature. 5 attributes. Pure consciousness. Truth consciousness means existence. Then permanent state of happiness, permanent state of wisdom, and love from inside. Love is already there inside. I don't want love from anyone outside. The moment I expect love from anyone outside, it is an attachment. At least you should behave properly because I'm your mom. I'm expecting love from. Mom is a role. We have already covered that. And I'm just, giving you tweaks. What is the next question?
What is the impurity of the mind?
Yes, what is the impurity of the mind? Anything that hides my true nature is the impurity of mind. Are you not in calm? Are you not aware? Are you not listening? Are you not in that moment of love? Yes, such a routine work. Such a routine work. So what disturbs my routine, living, moving and acting in peace and happiness, love and wisdom, is the problem. Last week I was referred by one of my students to her friend, and then exchange email, the way I do it. I also sent you a couple of files, please read it, this is the way I go for it. I go for it, and then she wrote me that you did not write me that you will only charge $1,500. I'm scared that you'll be charging $2,000. Such a wrong notion. Now I can make out how deeply she is living with the wrong notion. Not only with the money, it may be relationship, it may be. And I said, I don't do like this. I don't do like this. So please have the first session. Be very clear. You need not to worry about It is not a product that I increase the price. It is easily available, so I ease down. So I wrote positive notes from the 90% of the mind. Then she wrote me back in the morning that now I am assured, who knows that I will get rid of my stress and suffering that I have been for the last 20 years. Another way, only 10% of the mind you are living 25 years. It is wrong, but I should not write that you are wrong. I have to take her step by step. You see, that impurity. We as a teacher and the mentor of the Eastern wisdom instantly recognizes you have little conflict, confusion, attachment, delusion, wrong notion, wrong thinking, wrong identity crisis with yourself. I realize, here is the problem. And then based on your personality, your temperament, your past life, I start the journey. Similarly, you have to start the journey. You have to become your own mentor. You are the mentor, you are the student on the path. That should continue. What is the next question?
What is the purity of mind?
Purity of the mind we have discussed again and again and again and again. Purity, 90% it is pure, but why 90% it is pure? That needs to be understood. When this mind is facing to the self reflects in the mind through its 5 attributes: pure consciousness, truth, that means existence, permanent state of happiness, love and wisdom. Now this mind is facing to the world. It will gather all the information from the world. It will build its ego. Come on, I'm your mom. You should not have said this. Mind is facing to the world. I'm totally exhausted. Why you are exhausted? Stop doing the work. Or reconcile. Rather than your mind should say, this is a great opportunity, there is a lot of work. Let me focus on every work. And mind, get absorbed. Start. And I can tell you, in self-absorption, you enjoy. You enjoy. I got just in the morning, I got an opportunity. One of my students is in Austria, and she sent me an email, please do come here, we have a lot of students. So please send me your program details and we'll finalize the program. It is only not because I'm special. Understand that part. If you live with the 90% of the mind, you naturally invest in relationship. And that continues for years and years. And she wrote me maybe around after 16 years. She remembered. No, the way you give the group classes, I could see that, I still remember. I cannot do that. So please do come. Very good. I did not talk of any money and revenue. I said, no. Let her think. Let her think. See, there are many ways to do that. So it is the 90% of your mind. If you live with it, just peace is your routine nature. That's okay. I wake up in the morning. My body is heavy. Okay, let me take tea and coffee or whatever I want to do it. Take it casually. We give too much importance. Last point, it's a very important point. We give too much importance to our stress and suffering. I understand and I know that people forget the tremendous changes they have undergone with me. No, still I have You see, people got rid of their anxiety, their delusion, their depression, they are getting a good sleep, they have a healthy... No, still there is a problem. We don't notice, we don't recognize the days and the weeks we live in peace. We instantly recognize our anxiety reaction, and if the mind is not clear, and I'm overburdened by it. And then I make a statement that I'm suffering for stress for the last 25 years. You cannot live if you are suffering from stress for the last 25 years. How simple is that? Forget about it. You cannot live. If you live in stress, there are 3 levels. The peak level. 5 minutes of living in peak level of stress continues to affect your physiology, biochemistry, neurophysiology for about a week. Are you claiming that you're living in stress for 25 years? There's a scientific evidence. Mild level, 3 and 4 days. Lower level, still you live in that stress, for 1 or 2 days, your biochemistry, your neurophysiology, everything is constantly changing. That is why we say creatinine level goes up. That is why adrenaline rushes there. That continues to rush. I'm giving an example. So we should recognize the fact, no, this is not true. How long you can become angry? Let us take an example of that is also stress. Maximum not even more than a minute. But if you continue to live into that anger more than 3 minutes, heartbeat, pulse rate, stress hormone, adrenaline rush. And we see the impact of that anger after 1 minute. We create a wrong notion about the people and the event. That continues. Only if someone comes, oh, leave that fight, come on. He was saying sorry, so you should also say sorry. And after a week and 2 weeks, then we get rid of that. Look at that. So when I live with a pure mind, nothing happens, okay. What is the next question?
How impurity manifests in the mind.
We have already made it clear.
What are 3 levels of perception?
Yes, that is very important. So here comes the knowledge in the mind. This is the sense perception. The knowledge coming through the sense organ, the first level of perception. Knowledge coming through the mind, second level of perception. And the knowledge coming from behind is 90% of the mind and the self. Take simple example. The knowledge should happen in the mind. Knowledge, I have a knowledge through the sense organ, you have a beautiful aquarium. Now, I like it, it pleases me, so I start driving, I start thinking, I should also have it. So thinking creates a desire, desire leads me to confusion, loss of memory. One aspect. Now second aspect, I should use the knowledge from the sense organ. Without these sense organ, how can I reach your house? Routine activity. So this liking should not become an attachment. A disliking should not become a reaction. So attachment and a detachment reaction happens through my thinking. And thinking is the second level of knowledge. No. You know that, I have difference of opinion about Eric, David, and And Lois, ask your mind, what I have to do with these opinions? Let me live my life. Let me live my life and respond to each of them because they all are my children. Eric may move with love and affection. Lois may move with reaction. David may move with demand. It is their problem, not mine. Are you getting it? It's their problem. I am only one mother to these 3 children. Why my mind should face to the world and get attached, have a liking or disliking? Let me respond, let me move with love and care and affection to everyone. Out of ABC or 1, 2, 3, I'm not naming anyone. So if one reacts, let me move with affection. If one loves, let me move with affection. I have to respond. My response should not be based on how they behave. Why? Because I'm independent. Why? Because 90% of the mind will work in a routine manner. But then why I react in a different way? Because 10% of the mind. Is it not simple logic, simple arithmetic? It is 2 plus 2 like 4. But I forget. There is a sense of forgetfulness. It is because of the delusion. 10% of the mind overpowers. We are already releasing by different practices. What is the next question? We'll cover all today.
How impurity hides the self.
Huh?
How impurity hides the self.
Yes, how impurity hides the self. Remember, I told you the knowledge is coming from the sense organ. Knowledge is coming from the mind. And then the impurity lies here. And behind that there is a self. Why it happens? The mind claims, the mind creates a false sense of identity. After all, I'm mother and you are behaving like this. No, you are Nancy. You have become mother. You are not a born mother. Tell your mind, this is the right knowledge. Are you getting it? No, I'm your boss. Why don't you listen to me? No. I'm first Nancy. I have become boss. So when I become boss, let me play and perform my role of a boss in a rightful manner. Finished. Let me play a role of the mother when any of these children are with me. That's all. You keep the world outside at bay. You don't allow the world to dictate your mind. And that veil of ignorance drops, the veil of impurity drops, and you enjoy it. You live in that. You talk like crazy. Last time it happened in a group, and I told I'm more crazy than you think. Crazy is a simple word, Why? You have told me that I'm crazy. So how that crazy word is really attacking my mind? No. It attacks my mind, 10% of the mind. The word crazy goes to the 10% of the mind, then I have a pride, then I have an ego, then I give an interpretation to the word craziness, and then I react. Do you understand that? So once you live into that level of awareness, what happens? Routine work. Meditation, happiness is routine work. What is the next one?
How impurity hides the self.
Yeah, we have done.
Did we do how impurity leads to distractions and mental challenges?
Yes, how the impurity leads to distraction and challenge. And take an example. I gave an example of the aquarium that I like it, and my mind started thinking about this aquarium, possessing it. No, I'll have a bigger one, I have a smaller one. No, I'll keep this and that. That will distract my attention and I will not be able to guide you. You're listening to me and you start thinking of any of your kids? No, listening has to be 100%. See the distraction. The distraction comes because of this. You start driving and you had, last week you had some anger and reaction against someone, and you are driving and now you put car into anger. What is this? Distraction. So, this is distraction. Otherwise, routine work. Routine work, when there is no impurity, routine work, you look at the aquarium, you appreciate it, you like it, and that's all. That's all. Horizon, sky is such a beautiful sky, I see it. Can you create any desire to possess the sky? You see the beautiful beach? I will take it to my home. See that? No. So compare that. In order to drop that wrong notion, you have to put the knowledge in the mind. Oh, can I own the entire earth, planet? No. Can I own the house? Yes. Go little. And then ask yourself, how much space really I need to sleep? 4 by 6. I can say that I have a mansion, 10 bedroom, add another 12 bathroom, and so long list. I cannot sleep in 10 bedroom at a time. So the moment you put this kind of a knowledge with the clarity of what is right and what is good in life, the mind starts dropping the impurities. Right? Can I drive 2 cars? Answer is no. The other part is also true, that if I have the resources, I am not attached. I am not buying 2 cars for the sake of pride. And I have the resources, let me buy it. After all, money has to be used. Buy it. Doesn't make any difference. But if I'm attached, I buy the best car outside, and then I go outside and I wait for the neighbors to come out and see. Impure mind. Impure mind. There are 6 enemies. What is the next question?
How to deal with impurities of the mind.
We have dealt with it, yes.
What needs to be done and how long the practice needs to be done.
Yes. How long the practice needs to be done. First principle is 1 hour, 10 hour, 30 hour. Now see that you're listening to the talk and you have done the practice. It only lasts for an hour, and sometime today I'm free, so I'm I'll spend little more time. So 1 hour of listening and doing the practice. The moment you allow the knowledge of that talk and experience of the practice in the mind, as a routine. You're going to the kitchen, the mind is thinking, what this beer guy told me, 90% of the mind. Am I there? So you're asking questions, you're making a query. And these 10 hours passes almost every day without any issue. The mind is constantly chattering of those things which are not required as the impure mind. You can still think while cooking in the kitchen. You can think while being in the restroom. You can think while walking. So the first part is listening and the practice, and the second part is contemplation and reflection. That knowledge in the mind of these principles. So the rule of thumb is that 1 hour, 10 hour, 30 hour. And the moment you do it, then you start experiencing the changes when you wake up in the morning, when you are at work, before going to sleep. I never felt tired for the last 35 years, even if I work for 10 to 15 hours in a day. After 15 hours, I feel I have the same energy. Reason is no 10% is there. 90%. You need not to do it, but I tell you that I sometimes do it. I overeat. So body goes into letharginess. So there are very higher experiments that one should continue to do it. So body goes to letharginess, I feel sleepy and I sleep. But again I wake up after maximum 3.5 hours or 4 hours. Eric has almost achieving that state. It's so easy, so natural life. This is what is known as the natural life in our journey. So the answer to that question, first 1, 10, 30 hours, but after that what? Once you get the signs that now you live in the natural state of the mind, 90% of the state of the mind, you are living into that. Then where you need the practice? Do you need any practice? No. But still you continue some practice in the morning, some practice in the evening. You revise those principles. First you chase peace by these practices and principles. Then what happens? The peace and happiness follows you. My job is done. When you see the peace and the happiness follows you, either of these kids, you look at them, peace and happiness follows you. Not the past impression and the wrong notion. You have achieved that state. My job is done. Are you getting it? So, as long as I'm chasing it, there's something still there. And at last, you wake up in the morning. What a beautiful morning. Now that beauty of the mind is manifesting upon the morning. And the morning will always be beautiful. Evening will always be beautiful. This is the way these great masters used to live their life. Same principles. I am reminding you, cannot be updated, cannot be upgraded. Why? They are everlasting principles. This technology talks of those principles that cannot be updated and upgraded. Their expression changes. That's why the mentor and the guide comes and they express these principles based on the temperament of an individual. That is the only job. And that is what I have a play and a fun.